Hi, this is Ben. Ben Gillette, Ben and Teller. Big guy does magic. Smaller guy next to me, he does magic too. He doesn't talk that much. Anyway, I wanted to welcome you to In Time with Nick. And, what's that, Teller? What's that, Teller, what's that? Oh, yeah, Teller wanted to say welcome to In Time too, but his mic is off, like Nick. Love you all. Peace.
Hello, welcome all to Downtime. Thank you for joining us. We'll, I think we can close maybe Maute. We'll see, maybe. Who knows? Oh, another one says Brooks, man. We got the wrong... I'll have to fix that. We really do have Isandring here, so I'll get that sorted out. But thank you all so much for joining us. Oh, wow. It's we an abundance of riches to discuss. Marjorie Taylor Greene said something accurate. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm having a hard time processing that too. I really don't know what to do. It's been on several news stations, literally them saying, when Marjorie Taylor Greene is right, you know you're screwed. You're messing up. So we'll get into that. We'll get into.
We need to turn that into. We need to turn that into a cryptocurrency because there can't be a more limited resource on Earth.
Yeah, I know. Oh, wow. And we'll get that quote, but before we do that. And Biden wearing his MAGA hat, another just like, okay, I'm trying to get an image of it. I know there's an image, but we'll get to all of that. In the meantime, gentlemen, how are you guys doing?
Doing as well as can be expected. I've stretched out the intervals between the woohoo pills, so we're doing well on that front.
We're in the interval of woo-woo pills and not stretching, right? Because that's going to make tonight so much more fun.
Oh, I'm sorry to remove the fun from this.
That's why I keep trying to see if we can just go to breaking during, like just call him up and be there like, Russia's invaded Alaska. And he's like, what? And then just get him on and see how long I can keep going, just like while he's at the height of it. I'm talking to his wife. I was like, just text me. No, just text me when he takes his next pills, and we're gonna have a really good show, folks. It'll be a great show.
Only the best. Only the best.
It'll be the best show ever. It'll be the best.
I mean, I don't say it. Erdogan says it, not me. That's not my words. Yeah. His words.
We will have the crispiest fried cat you've ever had. It'll be delicious.
I saw it on TV.
Oh God. It's in. I think it's in the Discord.
From the Caribbean, so it would be black and cat. Yeah.
Black and
Jamaican jerk cat.
Yeah, jerk cat. That's what we call it.
Or black and Dalmatian, I guess, or black and
or a black and tan.
Exactly. Oh, we are going to be demonetized so quickly. I'm trying to get there.
That was the goal of this show.
You'd think every time. Every time we start this, I was like, okay, guys, we're going to try to get through this downtime without getting demonetized. And I was like, okay. And everybody's like really behind me. And they're like, at least if they're pretending it seems genuine to me, and they're like, "Yep, whatever you say, Nick, we're gonna," and then like 30 seconds into the show, it's like I'm getting messages from YouTube. It's like, this show's been demonetized. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Suddenly
the captain is identifying as black. I mean, I thought it escaped India being eaten, and now it's suddenly. I don't know. I mean, I guess the cat wants to be. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can be black. There's nothing wrong with being a black cat.
We cooked it too long. It was in the oven, and now it's. Oh my god. Ethan Prolib, who some of you may know, is back. His channel is back. He was testing it last night. I was delighted because for the first time I saw a channel that had more technical difficulties than In Time. Holy smoke! That was insane. He was simultaneously streaming to 2 YouTube channels. They couldn't figure out where the second one was. That was the first problem. And then he was trying to join the live chats with Twitch because he was streaming in Twitch, and then he couldn't tell who he was talking to from. It was a blast. But he also did a Trump impression that was probably one of the best I've ever seen, and he just did the debate. If you want to see all the highlights of Trump in the debate, go to ProLib's channel. It'll be it's like a 3 or 4 minute clip, and you got it all. It was perfect. You just reminded me of it because you just did it really well too, Isandring. It was just that I don't have the chops for it, but at any rate, there was this great clip, and I may see if I can snag it. I don't want a copyright strike on top of everything else, but it's from The Simpsons. It's the house, the woman singing, we put the spring in Springfield, where the sauce on your steak, and then they added the they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. It's probably worth me trying to find and see if we play it quickly, maybe we won't get a copyright strike. So I may go look into that. But so before we get into the other stuff, debate. We already talked about it last night, obviously, a lot. And any thoughts now that we've had some time to reflect on the carnage?
Before we went live, the three of us were kind of talking about, did it sway opinions? And I think that's an interesting question. I think Isandring was, in large respect, correct that most people going into the debate had already pretty much made up their minds which side they were on. The polling numbers I've seen post-debate suggest that it probably alleviated any doubts that Democrats may have had about Harris, being the new unproven candidate and such. And those have all been assuaged now. And predictably, the MAGA loyalists remain loyal regardless of what he says or does. And I think the small cadre in the middle, that much talked about, almost mythical independent voters who are undecided, I think they may have been nudged a little bit further to the Democratic side in this, but who's to say? So I think the one thing it did is it shored up a lot of opinions on the side of the left-leaning people that, yeah, she's the right choice. She's got what it takes to do this. She was able to deliver and stand up well. But aside from that, no, I don't think it's really changed a lot of opinions anywhere.
Isandring?
Anybody who was going to vote for Trump, this debate had zero effect on them. When it comes to the quote unquote, undecided voters of the middle, I don't believe there really are anybody, because everybody already knows Trump. So I don't think that it will affect Trump in any way, shape, or form. I think the only possible effect that it's going to have is there might have been some people who were more apathetic about voting in this election because they weren't super thrilled about Kamala. I think that the debate may have bolstered their indecision about voting, and maybe they may be more likely to go vote for her. But I as far as swaying opinion, I don't really think that it has swayed opinions on anybody. I just think it might have been a little bit more encouraging for some people who may have been more apathetic to go vote for Kamala.
Yeah.
I think it definitely energized the base, which can be very important. And Trump's base is energized. Whether or not they'll actually vote, though, it's unusual to have to ask that question with an energized base. But in this case, you might. Anjer mentioned that Ethan's stream may have been taken down. It actually was. It was made private. I hope he clips the part where he's doing the Trump, because that is so worth it. I may reach out to him and ask him to do that. In the meantime, let's see if Fox News is
I
really
wanted to
aggressive.
point something else out that I thought was interesting, is either just before or just after the debate ended, Taylor Swift came out and basically endorsed Harris. And her website had a link to online voter registration. And apparently, the last number I heard was somewhere in the vicinity of 400,000 new voters had been registered as a direct result of them clicking to register via her website.
Yeah.
And
which means the vast majority is going to be Democrat. Yeah. Yes, Isandring.
Yeah. No, I'm a little torn on this. On the one hand,
you and me both.
It's like, well, I mean, more people are getting involved in the political process, and that should be good. But on the other hand, if it took Taylor Swift to tell you, hey, you should go vote for this person, I am not convinced that any of those people have an idea of what's going on. And why are you allowing a celebrity singer to tell
any
you what
celebrity?
to do?
Why are celebrities such a profound influence in this country on politics? People who have no involvement in the political process at all, they come out and say, "Oh, I like Bob for dog catcher," and suddenly Bob's popularity spikes because some entertainer made a comment. It really, I agree with you. It annoys the hell out of me that that's the case.
And that Kevin Sorbo is one of them. Kevin Sorbo is like trending on Twitter every time he decides to. No, his comments are exactly what you'd expect. But yeah, sorry, what were you gonna say there?
I don't remember now. It's just. Like I said, I do think that it's a good idea to get more people involved in the political process so that we can hopefully have a more robust discourse. The more brains you can get involved, usually the better off things can get. The more solutions, the more options become available. But the only reason that you get involved in something is because a celebrity said, "Hey, I endorse this person, and here, register to vote and go vote for them too, and you can be like me." And I'm just like, that is not the kind of involvement that we need. We actually do need people who have a clue about what's going on and are interested in the future of the country.
Yeah, quit letting other people make the choice for you.
Yeah, and are interested in the future of the country for the future of the country's sake, and not for the sake of their idol. So it's on the one hand, I'm a little happy that we got a little bit more political engagement. On the other hand, I just cut all the hands off. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
On the other hand,
it's like I'm gonna have an AI do a meme for us on cutting off hands, because
I like Duncan's comment. Disappointed.
Yeah.
I can just see the character out of The Fifth Element saying that. Disappointed.
So we do have our sponsor today, The Simpsons television show plays on Fox, and so we do need to play a clip from tonight's episode. It will be airing later this evening. Let's see if we can get this up.
We're the sauce on your steak. We're the cheese in your cake. We put the spring in Springfield.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the pets in Springfield.
So that's so we'll see how long it takes to get a strike on that
It's
one.
entirely appropriate because the character that's doing the singing from The Simpsons is the madam at the brothel.
Yeah.
She's also the richest woman in the world on Futurama.
Yeah,
I can't remember her name now. Oh, Mom. I know the robots all call her Mom. Mom Industries or something like that. Same character.
So I've been I've been sending that one to all my friends. It was Titan who sent that one to me though. But that was there. There's people are going to be dining on this for months. What I do like about the Taylor Swift thing is that it is such an awesome troll because
was that a Freudian slip?
Listen, if you can't get it right, I don't have to answer the question. It was such a troll because he did that Taylor Swift thing where she's like, "I want you to vote for Trump" or whatever it was that and she didn't endorse him. He was using her image illegally, which he does so much. It's amazing he's still getting away with it. Like when he did his trading cards, the watermark from Adobe stock was still on the images, so he just did the previews, and or not him, but whoever they obviously don't care. So then to have her come around and I don't think should have endorsed Kamala Harris or even gotten involved, but for that, so it's like
I'm sure you've heard Musk's response to her coming out. Oh God, it's almost worth doing the research to get the exact quote, but it's something along the lines of, "Okay, Taylor, I will be happy to sire your child and take care of your cats for you." I mean, where does this cretin crawl out of?
And he really kind of manages.
I'm aghast. That's me being aghast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
it was taking me a minute, and I was just like, wow, that's so creepy. And I was just like, yeah, it's not just creepy, it's weird. I was just like, it's not just weird, it is a fucking dick thing to say. And I'm just like, he got the whole trifecta. He manages to be more offensive and bizarre than J.D. Vance.
The whole incel movement in a single phrase.
Yes. Oh my God, yeah.
Now presenting Mr. Musk, the new edgelord, I guess.
It's been a long time since Musk has been new anything, but
yeah, that's for sure.
So the other troll that is great is Biden was caught wearing a MAGA hat, and I'm trying to get an image. Somebody's got to have an image. It's got to be out there somewhere, but he was wearing a Biden hat. The White House was asked about this, and they said, quote, the cap was the White House said that the cap was a gesture of, quote, bipartisan unity. He knows he's done. He can do whatever. He can do whatever the hell he wants. So he's walking around with a Trump hat on.
It is both hilarious and entertaining and a bit terrifying when you get somebody with that much power, whether they realize they have that much power or not, but somebody who has that much power that has zero fucks left to give
Yeah.
It can be both terrifying and hilariously entertaining.
Well, he's got the nuclear code, so admittedly,
I know,
it's just
it's terrifying.
it's like, you know, there was this girl that said that rejected me for the prom. I wonder where her house is, and like, or do we have tactical nuclear devices that have the appropriate yield, or would I just have to take out the whole neighborhood?
We don't even need to do that much. Predators.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Mr.
I mean,
Predator.
Obama did it.
That's my concern, though.
We've used them to
at his
take out
age.
wedding parties before. Why not?
Oh, Jesus. Ow.
Yeah,
Ow.
like,
Okay,
hey,
that's dumb.
Obama took out a U.S. resident with a Predator. Hey, why not? Why not me?
Night, Dunk. Good to see you. Thanks for coming by.
And it'd be like, what are they going to do? Not reelect me?
What the fuck does it take for Dunk to bail on our show? I'm just asking. All right. Have a good one. See you tomorrow.
You Yanks are crazy. I'm out of here.
So let's see. What was the So I'm hoping that we get pictures of that. If we do, I know Trump is just going to be like, you see, even Biden's endorsing me. And what's really scary is there is a non-trivial percentage of the MAGA crowd that's going to believe it. They were like, wow, Biden did come out and look, I've got the picture. It's just, it was on TV.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was just about to say that. Well, if they're going to put it up on
some
TV,
guy on TV told me, so it must be true. An entire political movement based on it. Oh, God damn.
We've got to get that as seen on TV logo that they used to put on all the crap. And there was actually like an as seen on TV store that you could go to. It would be at the mall. We've got to get the we've got to get that as seen on TV and just put that on the MAGA hat. I think that's really, it's basically at this point, and that's how he got to be president anyway. I think is they're just like, well, he ran a show, so clearly he can run a country. We saw him on TV.
I watched your show, The Apprentice. It was fun, so he'd be a great leader of the free world.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, until he starts sending federal agents who have in full-on tactical military style gear with really small letters that say police, and that's it, show up in mom minivans that were rented, like literally just Chevy Astros, show up, jump out, grab people, don't say a word, and just disappear them.
Yeah.
It's not like that would ever happen.
No.
Well, and under a Republican administration, holy smoke. I was just like, dude, do you understand?
With the right cheering it on. Yay!
Do you understand your platform, your value? What the? Okay. Wow. A Pinochet party of one. Dear Lord.
I thought Pinochet was like, a type of wine that you had with carne asada or something.
Trump's probably saying that right now. They like me so much, they're comparing me to the finest wines. I was called a Pinochet.
I was called a Pinochet.
Oh.
So,
people wonder why I'm angry at Trump.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Would you like to? Okay, just do me a favor and search. Let's go with like MSNBC, and because they're going to have all the highlights, because they were really good at that. They made their entire living off of Trump for those 4 years, just between 2016 and 2020. Yeah. Just look at the highlights, then tell me why I'm not a fan of Trump.
Oh, it's one of the interesting. I mean, I get it because it's like so I'm an atheist. I'm also an anti-theist, which means that I do debates. I haven't done debates in a very long time, but what ticks me off is when I see atheists being assholes on Twitter or on any other social media, but Twitter is usually the space to find the ones who have sat there. Most of them, by the way, they're sitting there on their couches going, do I believe in God? I don't know. I guess probably not. Wait. I can get into fights with people on the internet over it. Oh, I am so on Twitter. I'm an atheist, and and it's not because all atheists are that way. It's because that's what Twitter attracts. So, but I get most pissed off not at Christians that I talk to, but at other atheists who are making atheists look bad and who are doing really shitty things. So I'm sitting here going like, Xander, at first, when you and I were talking about this, Xander, I was like, yeah, I really don't like Trump for the following reasons. And like, oh, you don't like him. And I was like, what the fuck? It's just like,
Yeah, how many times have I
Flame
gone off
spray
on rants? Yeah, how many times have I got off on just rants when we're talking about some shit that Trump did, and to the roaring applause of the right wing, and I'm like,
yeah.
What the actual? What? It's like I'm not even a Republican, and I'm feeling so horrible for you people.
Yeah.
Why?
Mm.
It made me so. I go on little rage rants about the whole damn thing because and it's so disappointing. It's like, really? So you get some populist president that you think is fighting the libs, and so you're willing to trade off all of the principles that you claim to believe in to support this person because he kicks the libs. Really?
Yep.
It irritates me.
So and then the other one that's just like holy smoke. Laura Loomer, who has been going around with the Trump campaign, and she is I saw on CNN one of the hosts said she is a controversial right-wing blogger who believes in conspiracy theories, and the other host said that was one of the most generous things I've ever seen you say. She is a right-wing nut job. This was on CNN. She's a right-wing nut job. And she's a 9/11 conspiracy theorist. I think it was the guest who said it, not the host, but nonetheless, they were just like, that was... So, and she is, at this point, apparently very close to Trump. She's in his inner circle at the moment, presumably because she's always saying that he's right about everything, and she probably wants an in on the administration if he wins. But she posted a extraordinarily racist article, including talking about I forget what it was, just literally checking off the bingo, every racist card you can imagine. Said that in Kamala Harris's house it must smell like, and then I forget what she said, something along the lines of fried chicken or whatever. I don't know. It was, and that was the nicest stuff. It was really bad. I'm sure I could get it. I haven't bothered because most news organizations that I've seen won't carry it. And I was like, if they won't carry it, I'm going to read it and not going to want to repeat it myself anyway. I don't want to expose you guys to it. There's no real need. The general consensus is it was really, really horrible. Now, it was so bad that Marjorie Taylor Greene came out and condemned the comments.
What the hell?
Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That should tell you. Yeah, that should tell you everything you need to know.
That CNN clip too. They're just like, okay, how bad do you have to be for Marjorie Taylor Greene to be in the right on this? I mean, you just have to. Holy smoke!
Well, considering I think that Marjorie Taylor Greene's public persona is just that, a persona, I think she plays the right-wing nut job pretty well. So I think that in her more rational mind of who I think she probably really is, she's like, ooh, wow, that's like career-ending stuff. That's like you'll never recover from stuff. I better come out against this immediately.
So, one of the things she actually said, okay, I do have one of... and there was one about her house, but there was also one about the White House. If Harris, who is half Indian, wins, quote, the White House will smell like curry and the White House spices will be facilitated via a call center. So Marjorie Taylor Greene posted that this was, quote, appalling and extremely racist. She added, it does not represent who we are as Republicans or MAGA. Okay, the first half was true. The second half, I think, is debatable. I think I'm not going to give her necessarily as much credit for the second half being entirely accurate, but nonetheless,
You know what confuses me? Maybe it's because I sometimes think things through. But I'm
that's
like,
a bad idea.
I know, especially in my brain. Try living in it for a little while.
No, thank you.
And but it's like I don't understand people doing something like this. I mean, make it make sense for me, because this doesn't help anybody anywhere. I mean, it's not like he needs to pander even more to his base. His base is already pretty damn rabid, and that's the only group of people that something like this may possibly appeal to. So what went through your mind to think that this might possibly be a good idea in any way, shape, or form? I don't understand that. My assumption is that they actually kind of want to win, and they actually want to sway people to supporting them. And this does none of those things. Why? Why would you do this? I don't understand.
If the name sounds familiar, and for me, it's like Laura Loomer is like, I know that name. I just don't remember from where. And it took me a while to figure it out, which is that and it's because she's not, the only thing she's actually ever done is said stupid shit that has gotten her in trouble. And so that's what she's known for. Now, CNN did call her for a response to this, and she said, I'm not racist. I don't understand why people are calling me racist. She cooks. What's the problem? Now, that was echoed in 2018 when she tweeted, someone needs to create a non-Islamic form of Uber or Lyft. Oh, dear Lord. We're going to stop that. There you go. She tweeted, where did that go? I got to get back to that. Well, she described herself. So she tweeted, someone needs to create a non-Islamic form of Uber or Lyft because I never want to support another Islamic immigrant driver again. She described herself as a proud Islamophobe, and when she was contacted by CNN for comment on that, she said she's, quote, not anti-Muslim.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can totally see that. I might have. I admit I slipped a little there, and I kind of looked askance at that, but she cleared it right up for us.
She cleared it right up.
She's dummy me.
Well, I don't know why it's CNN that she's talking to, but she's apparently, they call her up and they say any comments. Oh, I'm not anti-Muslim. I just said that I'm a proud Islamophobe. Okay. So. This is why, and she has...
Well, technically speaking, the definition would be Islamophobe is somebody who's scared of Islam. Doesn't mean you hate Islam, it just means you're scared of it.
But she said she's a proud Islamophobe.
Right, so she's proud of being scared of Islam.
She's scared of it, but she's not...
She's not racist.
Right, she's not racist.
I'm not anti-Islam.
Even your dog doesn't buy it. Did you just hear that? Your dog was just like, you're so full of shit.
I have a very smart dog, yeah.
My dog has given up the ghost. She's like, this is ridiculous. I'm going to be over here on my bed and just leave me the hell out of this.
Hell with you guys. I'm done with this crap.
Exactly.
Apparently there's... Inside the campaign, there's a huge amount of the general consensus is she does nothing but drag the campaign down. They asked a campaign insider, said she is the manifestation of the point of diminishing returns.
That's a great line.
I was about to say the same thing. I like that. I'm stealing that.
You are a manifestation of the point of diminishing returns. I definitely have to use that. Wow.
That's a good one. So let's see. At any rate, she did run twice for Congress, failed both times, and
I can't imagine why.
Well, listen, Marjorie Taylor Greene made it, so I no longer have, there is no bar. The bar has gone below, through the floor, through the basement. It is basically on its way to get melted at the molten core of the planet Earth. That's where the bar is at this
So what you're saying
point.
is Satanists can still make it under?
Yes. Well, most Satanists that I know would be greatly preferable to Marjorie Taylor Greene or any of the MAGA people in every Satanist I know would be. I know cats that have been cooked in an oven for 375 for about 45 minutes.
But
Don't
now
ask me how I
suddenly
know
they're
the
black.
recipe.
Don't ask me. I don't know, but they're just suddenly black.
And they would make better candidates. Well, somebody said, and I don't remember entirely. Like, okay, if you had to choose between Donald Trump, and by the way, so again for the new people here, this is a left-leaning channel. When we're doing the regular shows, when we do the regular shows, we really do try to be a lot more balanced. This is downtime. If you're looking for balanced, this is not going to be your show. We're just shooting the shit, and the gloves kind of come off.
Well, this should tell you something, because I am not a fan of the Democratic Party. I am not a fan of a lot of the Democratic policies and platforms. I can be okay with most of their social kind of stuff, like what you do in your private life. I don't really give a shit. But I am not a fan of the Democratic Party. I am not a fan of Kamala Harris, and even I'm saying these things about Trump.
So the one I heard that I love. So you're that's it. That's the whole point of this show is we're gonna unwind a bit. So speaking of, did Maute ever show up? No. It's still maybe Maute, I guess. If you had to choose between, for president, Donald Trump, a chimpanzee, or a bubblegum wrapper, which would you choose? And the answer is obvious. You choose the bubblegum wrapper.
Bubblegum wrapper.
Yeah. The reason is the chimpanzee, is just going to, wreck the place and upturn everything, and nobody's going to be able to follow anything he does, and it's just going to make a hell of a mess out of everything. And the Donald Trump is going to make every possible wrong decision. He is going to just completely undermine the Constitution. At least the bubblegum wrapper isn't going to do a goddamn thing, and it's the best we can do of the three of them.
My options, or my reasoning behind picking the bubblegum wrapper, is kind of for the same reason. It's like, the bubblegum wrapper isn't going to do anything, isn't going to pass any legislation, isn't going to, okay, great, the government isn't at least going to do more. Well, we're not going to get anything new. The chimpanzee is going to be wild crazy, and people are going to misunderstand what he's talking about at all times, and he might actually accidentally hit the nuclear button. So there's a slight risk there, and the fact of cleaning up in the White House. Oh well, I think you can potty train chimpanzees.
Well, you probably can, and I don't think anyone has ever. I mean, the crew that cleaned up after Bill Clinton can clean anything. So, anyways,
that's true.
Please continue.
And then you're going to have Donald Trump, who might stumble out with a couple of good policies, but is going to so undermine the Constitution and disregard it and not believe in it and expand federal power in areas that it should never be expanded, that are just truly frightening.
Okay,
So-
we Isandring did cut out there, and I will just say it wasn't me. It really wasn't. You saw I wasn't doing anything. I'm told that one we're going to blame on Isandring. You there?
Me?
No, Isandring.
Blame it on
Blame it on.
Montana cell phone coverage.
We can do that. I blame everything on Canada, especially since.
Well, you could. I'm not very far. I'm 41 miles from Canada, so you can blame.
There you go. So, yep, and we've got Olliman in the chat, so it's perfect. So I don't know. That's it. That's the only news that I wanted. There's actually some other interesting news. There's the some of the Russia stuff, but I think we're going to save that for a more formal thing. We try not to do like breaking news here, except for the Biden hat thing, which is obviously hilarious. I don't know. You guys got anything else that you want to talk about? Either on the debate, the two of you seem to agree on Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I think that's interesting. I'd like to see examples of this. And Isandring, you've told me examples, but I haven't actually sort of looked into it. But that basically she's actually a sane human being, and that everything she's doing is just an act, and she's doing it because she's pandering to a very specific crowd. But actually, she's sane, and this is that. I think
there's been
Commander,
some.
Yeah.
Go ahead and finish.
I was going to ask both of you. I wasn't sure if your reception was back, so I was going to actually ask Commander first. But since your reception is back, and this was you first put it out. If why don't you? I'm gonna go get some water. But.
Okay, I have seen some just regular sit-down interviews where she's just talking, kind of casual conversation, not a super strict interview, more of a let's sit down and chat type of thing. And you'll sit down and listen to her, and she sounds sane and rational. She has reasons for the things that she's talking about, whether you agree with the policy or not, or whether you agree with her opinion on something or not. She at least seems to have thought through her reasons behind it, and she seems like a completely rational person. And then she gets out into public, and she does just that's not crazy things. And I have such the dissonance, the cognitive dissonance that it takes to believe that this is the same person is pretty astounding. And I swear to God, somebody's gaslighting me. It's like I can't reconcile these two. That's the word I really was looking for. I can't reconcile these two versions, except if I posit the hypothesis that she's essentially a troll, and this is an entirely public persona that she puts out there, and she's not actually that crazy.
I've heard the argument that a lot of the MAGA movement is successful because it's a form of entertainment for that particular audience. It's not really a political movement. It's like watching a very bad reality TV show of, who's going to get voted off the congressional platform this week kind of nonsense or something. And so the more batshit loony you are, the better your ratings are. And I think there's some, I'm not saying entirely, but I think there's some degree of justification for that argument. And I think that's why you see some of these people saying just nonsensical stuff.
Do you have space lasers?
Yeah, what? Yeah, but there are all sorts of things that are like that, where they just spout nonsense, and their base just laps it up like dogs if you spill, the bacon grease on the floor or something. It's crazy. And so that's, I think, to some extent, a version of what you're saying is that it's an act that they put on. And I think they do it because it resonates with their base of just thumbing their nose at a system that they no longer feel any connection to. They don't want a democratic system, so they want it to be turned into a joke. And if these people are doing that by turning it into a joke, by having the leadership saying such crazy things, it's confirmation of that opinion that the system is broken, that it allows imbeciles like that in, even if it's the ones that they themselves are voting into power.
Yeah, I have to question because some of the stuff people say, and I mean, I think that there's probably at least a small segment of the population that maybe actually does believe the Earth is flat. I think that segment is smaller than the online community would have you believe.
Quite a bit, yes. But yeah.
But I guess people like that do exist, but they're not that many, at least in my opinion. I don't think there's actually that many. I think the majority of flat earthers are just essentially trolling. They're doing it for the attention. So I guess that might be a similar analogy to the, because I can't believe that somebody who can get into those kinds of positions could really be that either unhinged or that dumb or that just ignorant. It just, I don't know. It baffles me.
Well, in terms of at least like say Fox News, I think, because I think you had made this argument last night, Lance, which was that it's the more the people aren't interested in what's being said so much as how it's being said, and it's what's his name, that economist who gets shit wrong all the time. He is demonstrably wrong, but he's and he's in your face. And he do you guys know what his name is? Yes.
Yeah.
Which is sad because he's actually a Nobel laureate, but it was in a very specific area.
And he fucks shit up all the time. And if you want to go and see, a list of, and I can think of any number of economists who whatever, I was going to say left or right you can make that argument with economics too. Either way, who at least understand sort of the basics. And he seems to never get any. I mean, he just doesn't seem to get it. But wow, is he entertaining? And it's almost like, I think even also to the people who would watch Julia Child who weren't actually interested in cooking, if that makes any sense. A lot of people watched her because they were interested in cooking, but it was also, I think, just like, it's like having someone in the house too. It's like you turn it on, Julia Child's in the house with you, keeping you entertained while you're doing whatever else. I don't know. Does that make sense, or am I completely off my? Those aren't mutually exclusive. I mean, I may be making sense and still completely off my rocker, but at least let's deal with the first one if it makes sense first.
I think you're right.
All right. Well, good. Well, there you go. Well, so
that's all.
Let's
that's
see.
all it takes. You're right.
Yeah, no, that's it. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching our show. Commander McMillan has said I'm right. He has been on In Time now, let's see, oh my God, almost probably going on 2 years, and this is the first time he's ever admitted it. So that's it. I think we're done. In Time has I've achieved my life personal goal. As he said I was right. So I'm gonna enshrine that on a plaque. That'll be the new background. And
no need to go any further.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the clip. I'm gonna get the Family Guy clip when Lois tells Peter that he's right. He goes, "Wait, what did you say?" And then he pulls this thing, and this whole thing goes, unfurls. It goes, it's like, I was right. And then all these balloons come out, and the whole thing. And then he's just sitting there going like, And all of a sudden, he goes, there was supposed to be a clown. And then you see this like really old skeleton just fall out of the thing. Goes, oh, there he is. It's like, so
I may not really like Seth's politics so much, but he's funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We'll get that. We're also going to keep the Springfield thing because that's just that's a keeper. And I don't know. So do you guys have any projections on, I mean, it's still now 60 some odd days out. Kamala appears to have momentum, but things can change if there's a sudden. On the other hand, my view, which I said earlier, I think the stress is getting to Trump. He has also, by the way, said, big shock, he is withdrawing from the second debate, so he will not do another debate with her, proving he's not quite as stupid as people think he is. And so, I don't know. I mean, I think he's, between the stress of getting convicted, all his legal troubles, and having to deal with those while trying to run for office, I think we're going to see him come unglued more and more. Like I said earlier, I think it's going to be about 2 weeks before it's just painfully obvious to everyone who it's not already obvious to. So I'm saying I think she's going to win. I think she's probably going to win pretty big. Do you guys have any thoughts? You willing to go out on a limb or just wait?
Go ahead.
At this point, I'm like, I am not saying a damn thing. I am just going to wait. If I have a feeling that we're probably going to do some election coverage, so I probably can't just say I'm going to bed early that Tuesday and I'll get up the next morning and see whether the Earth is ending or not, and that'll tell me what it is. It's like if I'm gonna have to, if it's gonna be a cataclysm, I'd rather sleep through it. So,
well,
I'm not sure.
2016, everybody was saying, "Oh no, it's going to be Hillary. She'll win," and then we all woke up to what the hell, and you can't make those kind of predictions with any sense of surety in the modern world. But if this were a gun held to my temple, tell us what you think, I'm going to say, yeah, I think it'll be Harris winning, quite likely in a landslide, providing there aren't any dirty tricks being played. And I think that's the one incalculable in this scenario right now, is I think the people behind Trump who are orchestrating everything he's doing, he's just a figurehead, really. Those people are definitely planning some sort of big move if it looks like it's going to not happen the way they want.
I honestly, I hadn't considered that because I've been so focused on the 2025 plan and what happens if they win. It hadn't crossed my mind how bad things could get if they lose. Yes, Isandring, what were you going to say?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to point out. It's like, so I would like to just, sleep through the whole thing and then find out the next day whether, if I wake up dead or not from the end of the world. But I'll have to strategically park, because I do have a concern, no matter who wins, that there's going to be civil unrest.
Yes.
So I'm going to make sure that I'm like where I'm at now, which is out in the middle of nowhere, when I go to bed that night, so that I don't accidentally get caught up in anything. But
yeah,
I do have an actual, real, serious concern about a bit of unrest happening, no matter the result. And I also am not sure that we're going to really know for sure what the result is going to be, because there's going to be so much contesting going on.
Oh yeah.
So unless it's like a complete blowout, won every damn state, and even then somebody does that, they're like, yeah, nobody ever does that, so that's clearly fraudulent, somebody absolutely cheated. So even in that respect, I don't think that this is going to go, neither party is going to go quietly into the night. They're going to be fighting tooth and nail through the whole damn thing, and I think it's going to be a mess. And I'm not really looking forward to it.
Which is why you'll be covering it with us.
I know, damn you. If I have to do this, you have to do this too.
Exactly. And the other funny thing is, and this is completely true story, and I suspect Commander remembers this, maybe not. Before his very first show with us, which he was going to do, because we were going to be talking about Ukraine, and we were talking with him before the show. I said, the only thing I don't want you to do is don't try to make me speculate about things. There's just the stuff I know and the stuff I don't know. Don't try to make me speculate. And we got towards the end of the show, and I was just like, okay, I'm sorry you're here. I know you said this, but let me make you speculate. And he gave a really great answer. I was like, from then on, I was just like, oh, fuck it. I'm going to make him speculate all the time. Now I really enjoy it because I remember he said, don't do it. I was like, so we're going to start the speculation off with the commander.
Oh, look, a rabbit hole.
And yes, we'll be tethering Isandring to the show, and we're hopefully my hope is we'll have Pro Lib. He may be covering it himself, but he's also joined us for a lot of those coverages in the past. He's got a political channel, so it'll really be up to him as to he'll certainly be invited. We'll have on Brooks and a few others, and we'll cover it. Basically, for those of you who haven't been for the coverage of the election, we basically go until either we have an answer as to who it's going to be, or we have reached the conclusion that there can be nothing gained by further broadcasting. It's just going to be up in the air for a while. we call it a night, and we go.
Yeah, and here's if you're going to go, hey, I really need you to speculate on this because I do not know. I just everything taken in. I'm like, I don't have a feeling either way. I don't know. But if you force me to try and speculate about things, I don't think that we are going to have a proclaimed winner election night. And I think it's going to be a few days before they start putting out who won. And of course, each side is going to say they won. But I don't think we're going to get official, from media outlets anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get official word. I think they're going to leave it up in the air because I think there's going to end up being a lot of maybe weird stuff going on, and there's going to be a lot of doubt about certain things. And so I have a feeling that it's going to be left a bit of speculation while they try and get shit sorted.
That's
I
hope
about as
you're
close
wrong,
as I can get.
But I think that's I hope you're wrong, but I think that's a significant possibility. In fact, the odds are probably in your favor. I'm gonna keep my optimism, my boyish naive optimism, and say Kamala, and that we'll hopefully know that night. But the odds. I think the Vegas odds would be on your favor for that one.
I just have this kind of weird feeling, just having been alive for the last 4 years, and somewhat plugged into the political sphere. That's all of my feelings are going towards that, and it's not any one specific thing that really jumps out at me. It's just everything over the last several years has made me think that this isn't going to be a nice clear-cut election. We're probably not going to know the election night or have a projected winner, and I think that you're going to end up with some shenanigans going on, just with civil disobedience that night, and I don't think it's going to be nice and clean, and that's kind of what worries me.
Well, my hope is, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, that the government is prepared. I know that statement is probably as stupid as it sounds. Yeah, I know. But the good news is, and you'll like this part, is it's the state governments that I'm really talking about. Especially governments like Georgia, I think, are taking that possibility that you've just said so seriously that they're doing everything they can to diminish the likelihood and impact of something like that happening. They can't stop it, and they may be completely unsuccessful in any attempt to even slow it down. But I think that given what happened last time, most states are saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and would rather, do whatever it takes to try to keep that kind of thing from happening. But agree you can't stop it if it's going to happen. So my hope is that the measures that are being taken, especially in Georgia, are sufficient. But who the hell knows?
I kind of like that saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, because we have some good evidence to show that that's most likely correct. And yet, as a human species, we never do that.
No, we don't.
It's like
no, we don't.
we wait until it's almost too late, and then we scramble to try and come up with a solution. We do that for everything.
If it weren't for the last minute, nothing would ever get done.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's the last second.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's past the last second. Sometimes it's like,
Well,
it's
this
like
would have been good
the
3
ship
weeks
has
ago.
sailed, and they're like, oh, let's.
those are the ones I love, is where the situation has already pretty much resolved itself, but suddenly people who should have been proactive about dealing with the issue beforehand decide that they need to justify themselves, so they immediately start putting into effect all the plans that they should have had before to show that, oh yes, I'm on top of it now. No, you're not. You never were.
The bomb
Covering
has
your ass.
You agree with me? That is exactly why I don't want government doing more things.
Well, basically, the bomb has gone off. Let's disarm it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dear
Yeah,
Lord.
that does tend to happen. We have such a good track record of that, at least, that you got really good odds of being right if you bet on that. Even though we all know that if we did something we could do it would require less, and the consequences would be less severe. If we just started working today. There's a movie, and the movie flopped, and a lot of the people on the right call it, go woke, go broke, but it's oh shit, what the hell's the name of it's got
Don't
George
Look Up?
Clooney in it.
Oh, no.
It's a Disney movie. Yeah, Futureland. That's the name.
Oh, yeah.
Futureland. And it's got one of my favorite actors in it who plays Gregory House. And you would think that I'm having a terrible time with names tonight.
Hugh Laurie.
He's supposedly the villain in this film, and I thought the film was entertaining. I thought that the young teenager protagonist, who was so righteously indignant about everything, was a little over the top. Just having lived in the real world for 48 years, it's like, yeah, I think that's a little over the top, and I probably would disregard you too. But I did find the movie enjoyable, and I would recommend anybody go watch it. Turn off your political brains for a moment and just go enjoy a movie. Just watch it for enjoyment's sake. Hugh Laurie is supposed to be the bad guy in this, and he gives a villain monologue at the end of it. And I have played that thing so many times to listen to it, and I'm like, this guy isn't a villain. He's absolutely correct. It's like everything that he has said here is correct. Now, apparently, he's just going to let the world end, so that's what makes him the villain. But it's like he actually has a lot of justifications for this, and he points out some really, really good things. I really like that monologue that Hugh Laurie gives in that movie. So when you get to the end of it and you see his little monologue, and of course, then spoiler alert, this doesn't really spoil anything. A big chunk of rock falls on him and breaks his leg. So it ended his career as the lord of this alternate reality area, and he had to go become a doctor. So now you know why Dr. House actually limps. He had a big plinth fall on top of him, broke his leg. So now you know the progression of what happened. But he made a really, really good point in that movie. And
what's the name of the movie?
Futureland.
Futureland. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, it's a Disney movie. It's got George Clooney in it and Hugh Laurie. And don't ask me who else was in it, because I don't know the names of anybody else that was in it.
It is interesting. Yeah. Sorry, go.
I sent you a clip of his evil monologue.
Yeah, you did,
like,
and I've forgotten what I said, but you can actually find there's a couple of top 5 lists or something like that where the antagonist in a movie was actually correct whether you like it or not, like the way it's just sort of the twist is they may be the bad guy, you may disagree with their movies, but the reality is what they said is true. This is an uncomfortable truth, but they're not wrong. And those are the interesting twists. You never know exactly how to feel about that. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't.
If it wasn't Disney, damn it, anyway. If it wasn't Disney and their hugely litigious lawyers, I would ask you to do a quick Google search of YouTube and find the clip, because there's lots of the clip of just that speech, and actually play it, because I thought he made such a good point. I loved it so much. But if you did play it, I am absolutely sure, even though there's hundreds of clips of this on YouTube, how they don't get struck, I don't know. But I'm sure the instant you played that one clip so that we could dissect what he said and point out that he had a point, we would get copyright struck left and right. You'd get a cease and desist letter the next day from Disney.
Yeah. Oh, between them and HBO is still the worst, but Disney's a close second. And what channel runs Saturday Night Live? I forget who. Oh,
CBS.
They are CBS. They are aggressive as fucking hell. Things you don't think you'd learn, like running a YouTube channel, but you figure out pretty quickly. It's like there's some things you can play, you'll be okay. Or NBC. NBC. I inadvertently played a clip from Saturday Night Live, and it was inadvertent. We were testing the interface. I needed a clip of some music or something, and I happened to have a clip from Saturday Night Live. Dropped it into the thing, played it. Didn't realize that it was testing, so it was going out on a private stream. This was a private stream. Nobody could see it. I was testing the chat. It was a private stream, but I forgot that I left the SNL clip on. Hit play, boom, it plays, and you can hear the voices of people that you'd recognize. I mean, it's like famous people. I was, I probably don't want to play that. Hit stop and try to. Before the test is over, I've got like 3 emails. The channel's already gone down. It's down for a week. Appealed it, and I was like, this was clearly a test. If you look at it, you can see me like speaking to the microphone going, why isn't this working? Okay, testing 1, 2, testing 1. And then the thing played, and it was an accident. Nobody saw it because it was private. I was like, I think those are good grounds for appealing the strike, and they're like, no. Fuck. Oh, dear Lord.
So I mean, I can understand some of the copyright things, but if it's like you're playing something, like the whole show on Last Week Tonight was like, what the hell? Why are you doing this? And it's like we really are adhering to the Fair Use Act on this.
And we're fans. It was clear we watched the show. It was clear we enjoy it. We were telling everybody to go watch it. For the most part, it was a pretty good endorsement of the show, and it was fair use on top of all of that stuff. Oh,
yeah, because we did stop it every few minutes to specifically comment on what he was saying. I mean, it picture perfect use of fair use.
Yep. And we not only did we lose that one, that's one of, I think, 2 shows we've ever had that they actually removed forcibly. They yanked it. I'm like, nope. It's just like, wow. Which is why we record every show locally on top of, we've still got it. I remember you and I having that conversation. Do we dare try to play it, put it up somewhere else, or what are we going to do? I'm like, put it up. We should, you had said put it up on the Patreon. We should put it up on the Patreon so people can see it there. We've got it. It's just, if it goes anywhere near the YouTube channel, we'll see you guys next year. All right. Well, that said, I'm going to need to get going, and since I am currently what some people would call producing the show, we're going to need to start to wrap it up. So before I go, I do want to remind you guys that we will be covering in several months the election, and we're going to be covering any breaking news, and we're starting to get, as you can tell, our programs back up again. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you again for the 10 donations for memberships. Really appreciate that. That was very nice of you. And what was the who could be? I wonder who hit Nick for that. Could it be Satan? I can't do that high, but if by Satan you mean HBO, yes, it was HBO. If you're listening, I didn't mean that. That was a joke. Please don't strike us again. That was really kind of rough last time. You guys don't play. Okay, so any final thoughts, Isandring?
We've got a little ways yet to go, and I don't think that we've seen the last of the shenanigans, nor do I see the last of surprises. So I guess we are in interesting times, and we'll see how it goes.
Yep. And on the other hand,
I think we've covered what we needed to about the debate and the fallout from it and so forth. The one thing I saw this morning is there's some speculation about Britain and France having received permission to allow their Storm Shadow long-range missiles to be used by Ukraine against targets deep inside Russia. But at the same time, the U.S. is not going to authorize the use of ATACMS to strike targets deep inside Russia. I really have trouble following the logic line there, but, just okay.
Plausible deniability, maybe?
I really don't get it. It just makes no sense. It's either turn the light on or turn it off. Don't turn the light on and unscrew the light bulb,
Well, you know how I feel a lot of the time. Like, what? I don't get it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I did want to ask you this, and you and I had spoken about this privately, and I did say I'd bring it up at the next downtime, and I completely forgot. And so thank you for doing this, which was several days ago, Ukraine sent a huge swarm of drones into Russia. The vast majority of them, it looks like, were downed. One struck an apartment complex, killed one woman, injured another 7 people. But if you take a look at the apartment complex, it was just scarring across several floors. Looks really like kind of like Ukraine did early on during the war. And so I know that they've been trying to avoid civilian casualties. Any thoughts on is that going to be? Now, this was a couple days ago. Nobody's made a huge deal of it. Do you have any thoughts on hits like that? That was the center of Moscow. Is that going to put much more pressure on Putin? Are the allies going to say, "Hey, wait a minute"? What are your thoughts on that?
The more targets inside Holy Mother Russia are shown to be vulnerable, the harder it is for Putin to continue to maintain the facade of "I am the strong man who is protecting Holy Mother Russia." So, yeah, I can see the Ukrainians trying to strike targets, but the key, I think, is that to maintain international goodwill for their cause, which is essential, I think Ukraine needs to be very, very careful about what targets they strike at. Now, as you mentioned, an apartment building being hit by one of these Ukrainian drones. And yeah, I know the Russians have been for over 2 years now blowing up apartment buildings, hospitals, schools, you name it, inside Ukraine. So, doesn't Ukraine get the benefit of the doubt when striking at Russians? No, it doesn't. That's the terrible reality of the situation they find themselves in. They have to be on a much higher plane. They have to really have that high road as their sole level of existence to be able to maintain that international goodwill, to keep all that aid flowing in. That said, I think it's fairly clear that the Russians are actually using apartment buildings and such for some of their FSB activities. I remember a little over a year ago, there was a drone that hit a apartment building in Moscow area, and it was later found that that was, to some extent, striking at a legitimate military target because it was a troll farm being run by the FSB out of that particular building. So perhaps they have intelligence that shows that. Oh yeah, you didn't get yours. You get a cookie. Here you go. So there's that element going on, but it's still something that the Ukrainians need to be very careful with. And so it may be that the reason the Brits and the French have been given permission by the U.S. to say that Ukraine can use their weaponry against targets, but the U.S. doesn't want its weapons used. I'm sure there's something on, behind the scenes diplomatic stuff going on. It's outside your and my pay grade, so to speak. But personally, I think we're going to see those restrictions start getting relaxed over the next several months. I fully anticipate that U.S. will give Ukraine permission to use all weaponry anywhere at any valid target.
And someone in the live chat had pointed this out. We did see, for example, an attack that landed in Poland that looks like it was a missile that had been maybe struck by some kind of anti-air system, and then it went off and landed in Poland, and that was not the intended target. So, they are trying to jam these drones. They're trying to destroy these drones. I assume it's also a possibility that the drone was damaged and collided with the building.
Yeah, and that collateral damage is a part of warfare. You're never going to completely avoid it. The goal is to minimize it as best you can. Or in the case of Russia, maximize it as best you can. But at least that seems to be what they're doing, to be honest.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you both for joining us. Thank you, everyone in the live chat. And thank you, UTV and Ham, KD9WNV, for your generous support and getting all of these extra members on board. We also have a website if you want to check it out. We're still getting it back up to date, but you can find all our shows there. And it's intimeshow.com, and also our Discord. If you haven't been there yet, that's where we source all our news, especially our breaking news. We make decisions on what we're going to go with, and basically construct each show from there. So I hope you guys will check it out. And the downtime channel, we are going to move this to the downtime channel, and the right now we are doing downtime on the in time channel. Those of you again who are new, we have two channels, in time and downtime. This is normally on the other channel. We're doing it on this channel for any number of reasons, not the least of which is right now it's really the only active channel. We're going to move it to the other one. The reason is this gets demonetized more and really affects us in the algorithm. It sucks. All of you who have come from the shills know that they're always talking about, hit the like and subscribe. Everybody's always saying that. The reason they're saying that is it actually really does make a difference, and it determines how much you get elevated. When we at the height of In Time, if you looked up In Time on YouTube, you'd find in the first 2 or 3 boxes would be one of our shows. Now, if you look up In Time, you see the movie with Kevin Federline, and which is the bane of my existence. But It's the algorithm, and they track things like how long people watch, how many people hit the like button, and let them know that they like the content, and it really helps us out. So that's a great way to. And the super chats are a huge help too, because again, we do get demonetized, but that's because we do try to get when it comes to the news. We do the accuracy that will get us demonetized, and when it comes to clowning around on here, I will put up the stuff that gets us demonetized. And if I were a better businessman, I'd probably learn not to do that. But it's what I would want to see if I were in your shoes. Yes,
I do have one final thing. Can you turn my camera on?
Yeah, sure.
For just a second.
I'm a little scared now. All right. Yeah, those of you who have seen 𝐒𝐨𝐿𝐼𝐴𝐿 and know what he looks like, you're fine. Those of you who don't may want to look away.
Exactly. Brace
we
yourself.
Don't know what.
Peer cautiously.
There you go. Oh, look at that.
So I have to try and remember. This is Savannah. She's a rescue dog from a 𝐒𝐸𝐜𝐴𝐿𝐼𝐴𝐿 Humane Society. I went in and adopted her. And if you want, you can go and see Savvy's journey across America. It's on my channel. It's a bunch of just shorts. They're very short. And just look at just do Isandring person search. You'll find it. It's the playlist Savvy Sees America. So you get to go see her different little places. Yeah, I know. I started pointing. Oh, now you're just going to lay back there and scratch yourself. Okay. All right. Well, so that was.
I love where you're teaching her.
I actually do that.
I love where you're teaching her economics. It's great. He's just like, okay, this gas station, the price is that, and she's like nodding her, and she's like following along. I was like, what the fuck is this? I mean, just watch yourself, because I'm sure she's pretty tasty. I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
Yeah, I won't go to Springfield, Ohio.
Don't go to Springfield.
I know.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. She's back. I'm gonna let me white box you again. There you go.
Is Ohio man now going to become a thing like Florida man?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I know.
If I can make that happen, you know what? I'm taking to Twitter right after the show. I'm gonna see if I can make that happen. All right. Awesome. Thank you both.
There's nothing like going down a really, really steep hill. We're talking like a 6-7% grade hill, and you're grossing 115,000 pounds, and you're like, hey, I am supposed to stop at the bottom of this hill. Shit. That's
should you be doing the show while you're hauling one of the several, like, how many ton Tesla batteries?
It's a 40-ton Tesla battery. It weighs 80,000 pounds.
80,000.
Yeah. So my truck, trailer, battery load, everything. I weigh 115,000 pounds. I hate it when they put exits at the bottom of 6% hills, and then they're like, "Yeah, go ahead and just stop."
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is his dedication to this program. He's got a Tesla battery made of lithium, so if it catches on fire, he's in trouble, and he's willing to come on, risking his life, driving and talking about politics. So we're delighted. It's just his dedication is absolutely just unimpeachable. Thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to catching up with you soon. And again, you can always find us on the Discord. I'm there, Lance is there, 𝐒𝐶𝐿𝐼𝐴𝐿𝐼 there. You can talk to us, talk to the mods, give them a hard time if you want, or one mod in particular. I won't say who. But hope you're all having a great weekend, and we will see you next week. Good night.
Hey.